Hi there, I'm Dean Heskin, President and CEO of Swiss America Trading Corporation. You are tuned into our podcast, The Secret War on Cash. And there is a war going on in cash. We know there's a trade war, there's a tariff war. We have got a lot of jockeying going on with global markets right now. And in the midst of this war, however, we've seen some phenomenal gains and growth taking place in the precious metals arena and market. And that's happening as a direct result of what's going on out there, because as uncertainties and tensions mount, and as people become concerned about the stability, perhaps in fiat currencies, and now the most recent thing, which we're going to get in here into today, is inflationary problems, pressures, and concerns. So, as my co-host Chris Agelastos and I take a look at this, and we've been discussing this for a while. It's interesting that it's become almost like a prophecy, like a fulfilled
Yeah.
prophecy, meaning, this is what's going to happen, and 2 months later, or in some cases here recently, just within a matter of weeks, we see metals making these big jumps. I mean, if I remember correct, it's time has flown so much this year, Chris, but the I think we started off the year at roughly 3,000 an ounce, and some of the projections for the year were like 3,200, 3,300 by several of the analysts out there. And now here we are, just going into the month of September, and we're seeing gold and silver prices reaching basically almost record highs. Record
Yeah.
for gold, and silver is, getting close there as well. So silver, the price has topped $40 for the first time since 2011. Pretty big moves.
Yep.
And what's interesting about this is that, in addition to all the buying pressures, one of the things that really has been talked about quite a bit when it comes to silver is just how short the supplies are out there. And you take the all that buying pressure. Certainly that is something that is going to cause any market to go up in value. But then with this extreme shortage of supply, and you couple that with I guess that supply shortage not just being people who are buying it from an investment standpoint, but for the industrial uses. What's to stop silver from going up to 50, 60, 70? Because the percentages are going to be pretty healthy when you look at a $40 price of silver per ounce. If it goes up $10, doesn't sound like a big move, especially when you talk about gold that's moving up 50 to 100 at a clip.
Yeah.
But when you look at a $40 per ounce price of silver going to 50, you're talking nearly a 25% increase in value. And I think it's
Yeah.
got the capability of doing that given what's going on. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. See, the thing is, all the things pushing it haven't gone away, and there's no signs of it
Right.
going away. We're continuing to see inflation. I mean, everybody feels that in their pocketbook, almost no matter where they go or what they buy. Consumers are concerned about spending because of that. Internationally speaking, people are less trusting of their governments and their paper currencies. We've also got some rate cuts that we're expecting here, soon, probably in the next couple of weeks, which always tend to push up metal prices. You've got people here in the U.S., not really trusting the Federal Reserve. You've got even President Trump, sort of, I don't want to say threatening, but I mean, he's using some harsh language to describe their actions and really trying to push them to lower rates, which makes others question their independence. So you have all of these things. Normally, if you told me, okay, something just hit $40 and it hasn't done it since 2011, I would say, well, okay, maybe there's going to be a little bit of a pullback here. But all the things pushing silver and gold are just continuing to go full speed ahead. So I really don't see any sort of significant move downwards anytime soon. I mean, I think this
Well,
this freight train is moving.
you're absolutely right. And to your point, we'll get right into the next article here, discussing how gold prices surged to record high, which, as we've discussed, analysts now are eyeing the 3,700 target, with us just having crossed the threshold of 35. They're already talking
Yeah.
37. And silver set to rally to $48. So
Mhm.
to your point, not only is it something that I wouldn't be holding my breath or expecting any kind of a pullback anytime soon, quite to the opposite. What many of the analysts or experts out there are suggesting is that, we're going to see some pretty sizable moves here, and especially again with silver, going back to that the move of percentage from 40 to 48. That is a 20% increase, and they're saying that's going to happen sooner versus later.
Yep. And well, I remember it wasn't that long ago. I want to say maybe in the last couple of months, we were talking, and the analysts were saying, look, if silver breaks above 40, it's going straight to 48, 49. So, I mean, that's what we were talking about months ago, and now we're in the midst of it. And of course, them talking about gold moving to 3,700. I mean, at the beginning of the year, they were all saying maybe 31, 3150. And we were saying then they're undercutting it. They're being conservative in their estimates, which I understand. But here we are with 3.5, 4 months left in the year. We're already close to touching on 3,600. Wouldn't surprise me if we hit it this week or even in the next couple of days. And now they're moving their target to 3,700. So I think more realistically, it wouldn't be shocking at all for me to see $4,000 to $4,500 gold within the next year, and silver crossing over 50. Because again, all the driving factors are continuing to push forward. Nothing's letting up or slowing down. So until we see some of those other things change, I don't think we're going to see a slowdown in gold or silver prices.
Right, right. Well, yeah, but especially, I mean, you start using that figure of 3,700. I mean, the December delivery price just just hit 35.63. And it touched the record of 35.08 in the near term. But still, you've got those futures that are going up even more so. So
Yeah,
I think that's very reflective representative of where that the investor and buyer sentiment is in terms of that future pricing of gold, which is all very bullish, very bullish. So, Chris,
absolutely.
for people, if they want to learn more about gold, if they want to learn more about silver and how they can maybe put that into their retirement plans, or maybe put it into just their strict investment portfolio, what can they do? How can they get some information on that?
I would recommend just giving us a call or shooting us a text to 800-289-2646. Just give us a couple minutes to gather some of your info, and we'll send off either via email, or for those of you that prefer hard copies, we'll send out a packet in the mail just to help cover all the basics, kind of make sure we're on the same page and understanding what's happening in the market, how you can use precious metals to protect yourself and your other investments. You can also go to SwissAmerica.com. Maybe you don't want to talk to anybody just right off the bat. Go to SwissAmerica.com and you can submit a request for information that we can either email or mail off to you. And you can get started by reading some of those materials. And then I would say schedule a 15, 20-minute consultation appointment with us, just so you can discover some of the basics and really find out if this is something that you need to put a little bit more time and thought into.
Okay, fantastic. Well, there you have it. And again, if you haven't contacted Swiss America, the time to do so is now. You get yourself diversified into some tangibles that is something not tied to our fiat system, not tied to it's an unencumbered asset, so there's no debt supporting its value. Its value is based on what it is. And you put a little bit of profit in your portfolio too, is if and as things continue the way they've been going or doing. So thank
For
you, Chris.
sure.
Thanks for those of you who've tuned in. Have a great rest of your day, great rest of your week, and we look forward to seeing you again real soon.
Take care.